In this video, we will go over how we can use XBRLAnalyst to create a valuation model. The first thing to do when creating a model is to pick a company. In our case, we will use Harley Davidson, which is why we enter HOG next to the ticker. We will start in year 2009, and for period we enter Y because we want annual data. Now we will populate company name using XBRL fact. To do this, click on the function button and go to XBRL fact. We then populate the appropriate boxes. For ticker or CIK, we click HOG. For tag or T, this is company name. Year is 2009, and period is Y. Click OK, and Harley Davidson appears. The next step in building our model would be to create a historical income statement. For this, we will go to View Statements. Under CIK or company name, we type HOG for Harley Davidson. We can sort by 10K reports, and here we have the income statement. If we click Show XBRL Tags, we can see all of these specific tags that pertain to our particular company. These tags have already been added to the XBRLAnalyst database. If we click Close Form, we can now begin by listing the concepts that pertain to our company. We will start with revenue. Harley Davidson has two main sources of revenue: revenue from sales of goods and revenue from financial services. XBRL allows us to pull both individual concepts and the total. Now to populate these cells is very simple. We will go to the function bar and go to XBRL fact. We will use appropriate absolute reference techniques just to be able to populate the adjacent cells quickly. We will start with the ticker. We then go to the concept. Next comes the year. And lastly, the period. If we click enter, the number appears. We can drag this across, and we can drag it down. Immediately, all the cells are populated. We can follow exactly the same steps for the rest of the income statement and for the balance sheet. After we finish building our income statement and balance sheet, we arrive at the following point. One thing to note is we created a number of checks in the model to verify that we are in fact pulling the correct tags. This is because XBRL allows us to pull both individual concepts and the totals. For example, if we change this to 2, we know this is incorrect. We click enter and the check turns to error, indicating there is a mistake somewhere. After this, we can build our assumptions table. This table calculates different ratios and growth rates based on historical data that we can then use in our projections. This table also allows us to easily modify different parameters that affect our projections. After we use our assumptions to create our projections, we arrive at something like this. There's an important point to note about this model. To handle some circular references, we included something called circuit breaker in conjunction with the choose function. Currently, circuit breaker is on, as indicated by the zeros in these 3 rows. Now to populate these cells, all we do is we go up to circuit breaker and turn it off. Circuit breaker should only be on when we update the table. However, to get numbers and the cells to be populated, we then turn it off. Now all these rows have correct numbers. Lastly, if we scroll down to the bottom, we have our free cash flow calculation, where we arrive at a per share equity valuation that we can compare to the current share price that is pulled using the quote function. The final step is to create some sensitivity analysis tables and graphs to visualize the effects of different rate changes. This is how we use XBRLAnalyst to create a valuation model.